I feel like I hear the title of this conference, Nonprofit Storytelling Conference, and from the very beginning, the first thing I want to do is assume that I'm the storyteller, as opposed to the story listener. And maybe a lot of you made that same assumption, that storytelling is a professional activity. And I want to posit that perhaps story listening is a professional activity. And they're also storytelling, because it ain't a spectator sport, right? And I'll go on record now for saying that when you all come back in 2015, we need to have a session on story listening, right? That's about open-ended questions. It's about body language. It's about presence, right? If we were in a theological context, we'd talk about the ministry of presence, right? Like the real dignity that you can bring to a conversation by being present. So the Ira Glass quote earlier that was so great about great stories happen to people who can tell them. So what happens when you bring the spotlight to someone else and allow them to be a storyteller of a story that you know exists, but no one's ever given them a stage or a light or a place? And I'm a deep believer in helping listen people to a place, right, that resonates with the mission that you're about. In fact, I'll go one step further. How many of you are musicians? How many of you know that if you put your foot on the damper pedal of a piano, what happens? The damper pedal, the echo pedal, what happens? Raises up all those hammers, and so the strings are all what? They're all free. Well, they're all free. If I just go up to a piano and stick my foot on the damper pedal, now all the strings are free. And if I take a trumpet and I blow a B flat right into that grand piano with my foot on the damper pedal, what happens in the piano? You're going to hear B flat in every octave, the strongest being the one that you blew it in with a trumpet. You're going to have resonance.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a powerful. You need to do it. You can do it with a flute. You could sing into a piano. I don't care if you sing off key. But the note that you're singing is the only one that's going to respond. That's resonance. That's a physics lesson from high school, but I think it's a very, very powerful personal lesson. And I will tell you that in everything I do, I'm after resonance. I'm after freeing up the strings so that when someone blows B flat, right, or F sharp, or whatever, that we can respond, that we can resonate. Susan Hallett and I, the reason I keep seeing her in my vision, she and I had an experience when I was working for a different organization in the past, and she and I heard the same thing from a major donor at the same time. And I hope I'm not stealing your 4 o'clock thing, Susan, but you know the story I'm about to tell, which was we were in a planning meeting with major donors who wanted to help us with major gifts. And we kept trying to craft kind of perfectly how we would state our mission statement. And the thing was, this was a policy institute. We were a think tank on sustainability. And that's like raising money for people who dream and excel. And that's really hard to do. And Susan and I were present as a donor said in that conversation, she said, I don't know why you're so focused on your mission. I don't give because of the organization's mission. I give because of my mission. And you are a trustworthy conduit for me to meet my mission. So I think there's a whole bunch of stuff around resonance. And when we're going to listen, right, we got to meet people where they are. Rule number 1 for me is meet people where they are. I'm going to give you 3 rules, but one is meet people where they are. And frankly, if you do nothing else as a fundraiser ever, meeting people where they are is a pretty good thing to get right.